We're gonna get going second. We're gonna get some friends invited up here. We got Alan and Carol from Vayner NFT. We're gonna get some tunes going while some people are collecting. All right, welcome, all my aliens, apes, and zombies. It's Friendly Friday. I want to do a mic check. 1, 2. What is this, Alan? How are we doing over there?
Doing excellent, sir. Thank you for asking.
Oh, awesome. Like I said, Friendly Friday. We are back at it again. Another Spaces on Vayner NFT. It's Crypto Novo talking behind that awesome VNFT right there that you're all seeing. And I've got my awesome coworker with me as well, Alan Carroll. And if you haven't seen him at all in action, actually on my Twitter page right now, you can watch him going live, catching a fade pattern, putting all teams on notice. I hate to put you on notice, but I'm actually showing your fly pattern right here going vertical. And not only am I impressed with your speed, but I think I'm more impressed with your quarterback skills of throwing it and also being able to film at the same time. But, Alan, how about you talk us a little bit about yourself as I'm showing you your skills off live here. But, what got you into this Vayner NFT space?
Thank you, Novo. I appreciate that. Yeah, just letting all the flag football teams know, getting some tape out there early. Didn't even have any gloves on that catch. And shout out to my quarterback, Elijah Benoit, for that hell of a pass. So actually what's interesting is I've been working at VaynerMedia for about a year and 3 months, and it's been an absolute blast. Shout out to, VaynerMedia for giving me the opportunity to, showcase what I can do. Started off, before that on some meme pages. Then after Vayner, I started working on the Gillette team, which was a blast. And then migrated over to the DraftKings team, and now I'm at Vayner NFT working on the Budweiser. So it's been an absolute blast. You can check the link in my bio to see some content that I've made from a great little platform called Gondola. That's been a blast, and just an honor to speak with you all today to talk about the culture of NFTs and this lovely language that we're all trying to learn.
And we have right now pinned on our Twitter handle there. And we were asking about terms and terminologies that have been used.
And Novo, should we just dive right into?
Yeah, let's do that. On our pinned tweet right there on Vayner NFT, we had terms and terminologies, and we had things that are out there, and some of them back in the day had to be looked up, and even by me, like I'm learning in this space as well, and looking up and knowing these terminologies makes you part of that community. Even to maybe 6 weeks ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, some of these terms haven't even been invented. And this terminology is almost an everyday language, in everyday tweets, in everyday lingo now, not only amongst inner office lingo, but also, out there. So let's talk a little about the terminology aspect of what we're seeing in this Web 3.0 environment.
Yeah, so what's interesting about that, like Novo was just saying, like NFTs, brought a whole new language that most of us to this day still are learning, right? There's new words coming out every day, new phrases being coined, which is awesome. And, it's just super important to continue to keep yourself up to date, right? Like I have an example here, if you heard this sentence a year ago, GM degens, which floor am I going to sweep today? You'd probably have no idea what that person was going to say, right? Like what that even means. But now, when you understand that first layer, which is the language of NFTs, no problem, completely understand that language. So as all of us in here probably are wanting to learn as much about NFTs as possible, that first step is really just getting that language down, and then also contributing yourself, right? Like we don't need an invitation to start creating and, innovating in this space. So if you're maybe not an artist, maybe you're a wordsmith, maybe you're going to contribute, terms to the space and coin phrases, right? That'd be really, really cool. So, we have a thread that's going to be releasing after this space's end, which is going to be awesome. We have some of our favorite terms on there. and we'd love for you to add your favorite terms on there as well. We have the basic ones like alpha and friend and FUD and GM, and probably most of you understand what these words are, but if not, no worries, we'll have the definition soon, and don't be afraid to coin your own phrase and add it on there as well.
And that's kind of how this this educational series began, is you reaching out to people within our work circle, and having that site of education of like we can get some of these phrases out there, and not only that, you can almost coin some of the phrases so we can drive the narrative. I know one thing that we're looking into is metaverse is just such a huge term. What does that entail? Well, you can break that down into different subtopics within there. But let's slow it down a little bit. Let's bring it back to maybe someone who is maybe not too privy to the short language used in there, like just the simple two letters GM, or GN for that matter, and other nuances that you've seen. Like that's probably the most popular tweet that we're seeing out there, is just that wonderful good morning tweet that people just pop in there. It's very simple. It means the most. It puts a mental smile in your head. Any other like terms that you've seen that have popped up, within this Web 3.0 experience that maybe we take for granted, but maybe other people might not know?
Yeah, that's a great question. First of all, shout out to GM. I love that that's made a comeback in Web3, and I even posted a meme today about it. Like, I had some friends asking me, "It's like, are you really going to tweet like GM every day? Like, why do you do that?" And it's like, you just don't get it yet, man. Like, hopefully one day you'll see the side of NFTs that just bring us so much passion and joy. And one of my favorite words is honestly degen, right? Like short for degenerate. And that used to maybe have a little bit of a negative connotation, but now it's kind of like associated with just being like more like free spirited and creative. Trying to be the best possible version of yourself. So being called a degen now is almost a badge of honor. It's like, yeah, I definitely am a degen. So feel free to call me that whenever you see me.
And I think that's the whole thing that we're thinking, is a term maybe used in prior dictionaries, paper dictionaries, that were being a degen or degenerate has a negative connotation. We're now like, yeah, you're maybe being a degenerate, but it's within a group or a community that has a purpose, and that purpose is usually growth based around NFT, is that growth of community, that growth of whatever you're trying to establish within that particular project. But we talk about it all the time. It is a badge of honor being able to stay up late with like-minded individuals, ladies and gentlemen, who all have the same interests in mind, and being able to spend more hours than normal hours trying to progress a thought or an ideology. And right now it is in the NFT space where we're able to get some of these cool terms and concepts going. And you can almost write your own definition too. Think of a mint pass. Who created the mint pass? Actually, there is some historical talk of it, based around Punk's comics, of where that term came up. But, it will all be related in history at some point, because people are going to want to know those definitions and where they spurred from and came from. So Alan, going into the thread, what kind of gave you the thought process to kind of create the thread and share it with team members within Vayner NFT?
Absolutely. Well, as and maybe some of the audience isn't aware, like Vayner NFT onboards a lot of Fortune 500 clients to the NFT space, and not all the Fortune 500 clients necessarily have a massive understanding of the market. So we just really wanted a way in for them, right off the bat, to just say like, hey, like, here's some words that you're probably going to see circling in the space, like just trying to understand the slang and what people are actually, saying and how we actually talk. And, it's just really trying to, hammer home that understanding, because as we alluded to earlier, understanding that language is really step one of just understanding this NFT space in general. So, it's really nice that we have this resource that we can share with all of you, and that you guys can continue to build and grow on. And, we just have it out there for everybody to help on board new NFT people into the space.
If you look on Vayner NFT's Twitter handle, you scroll down to March 2nd. The tweet there is the beginner's guide to NFTs from 1:37 p.m. that has some of the terms, some of the maybe baseline information that you might know or might not know about. And one thing that Alan was speaking about just right there are brands that are coming into the space. They may know or not know what these terms mean. Imagine coming into the space as a brand and just tweeting out LFG. They may or may not know what LFG might mean. Yeah, let's go. In what capacity? You know, it's taking it to another level, and having that education brought to particular NFTs, particular NFT projects, gives them the light and gives them the guidance. They don't want to sit there and type verbatim, buy this NFT on this date, and it's so concrete, where you're mixing in emojis, you're mixing in abbreviated words, you're mixing in things from the beginner's guide to NFTs that make it more exciting, more accelerant, more noticeable, more of what kids want, of what older people want, of what new people want, of what people want in the NFT space. And it's everyone, all the aliens, apes, and zombies. It's just not one demographic, it's everyone, because people want to see cool new things. And we're seeing that now just in verbiage and language used in this Web 3.0 capacity. Alan, on to the next one. How about a good term? All right, so we said GM. I know Nate Bear sends, not only does he send GMs out every morning, he actually creates an image every day, almost like a personal conquest of where it is an image based around GM. If it's, he always thinks of like pretty cool creative things, grape monkey, or something that's related around the words of it or what day of the month it is. And you're seeing it more and more where GM has a life of its own. Is there any other words that are kind of getting like global in a sense, where it's reaching outside of just the normal realm of the NFT space?
Well, first of all, shout out to Nate Bear, outstanding artist. Definitely check out his page if you guys haven't seen him. You know, his product Space Poggers, unreal, unbelievable art. I would honestly say this phrase here called "probably nothing" is kind of funny, right? Like, it's a little sarcastic tone, and it's like, oh yeah, like, you know, you have some really bullish announcement and people are commenting probably nothing. And, you know, if you don't really know what's going on in NFTs or the lingo, you're like, wait, why are people, you know, fudding this project? And it's like, well, that actually means that, you know, there's probably something there. So I feel like that terminology there is kind of creeping out, and, you know, it's a wonderful thing, because I always love being sarcastic and have a little bit of humor into the world. So, you know, I hope that we continue to see more phrases like that branch out from NFTs.
And we had that put in there on our pulled tweet. Like, if you can have every word, every sentence had to have the words in it, probably nothing. What term would it be? When Lambo, friend, probably nothing. So like, you can add in probably nothing to just about any sentence, probably nothing, and it would probably mean something, probably nothing. And it would just kind of be funny little play on words. But we're seeing probably nothing pop up in those terms, and it's always accompanied by those eyes emoji. We've seen it, you know, down in Miami when 137, you know, hosted an event down there for Art Basel, and you see it more and more. Oh, probably nothing. Well, people in the Web 3.0 world know that, and now people in the Web 2.0 world are knowing that. So now it's turning into like a Web 2.5 phrase or term, where, you know, it's getting cross-cultured, and it is getting into, you know, old styles of advertising, just simply putting up on billboards, running it up on you know, on simple tags and tweets. And we're seeing it more and more. That's what we're trying to bring into light, is where are these coming from, you know? And it's hard to pinpoint where they're coming from, but everyone has the story. So these stories will resurface, just like we're seeing probably nothing. You know, the degen movement, being a degenerate, you know, where did that stem from? Well, it stemmed from people probably staying up late, working on awesome things in the space. Right now, I'm going by to the GMs on Nate Bear for day 63. It is day 63 of this current calendar year, where he's producing them and putting up there. And he has two GMs just running into each other, a G and an M, creating a GM, and he has animated motion on it. So, I mean, it is a culture in itself that we're seeing all over the place. So, Alan, a little experience for what you're doing prior to Vayner NFT and Vayner Media, where you are working with memes and such to help advertise. You know, how is this the new way of reaching people? You know, how do you view this as, you know, simple 2 words or a simple statement? Is it easy way of just getting to someone?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people started realizing, you know, if you were in the Instagram space, that, you know, a hard ad started getting blocked by the algorithm, you know, pretty early. And when I say blocked, like, you might have 100,000 followers and get 50 likes. Like, they were really trying to stop you. So when we had to take another creative approach, and I think a lot of people started catching on to this. Humor is a great way to try and sell anything or advertise anything, and memes are just so relatable because you can Google blank meme slate, and you have all of them in there as a content creator. You can just pick and choose and come up with captions that relate to any and all situations. So we just kind of see memes being used globally and continuing to be more impactful, right? Like, I don't know if you guys probably saw, the Kevin meme, right? Like, out of nowhere, this is just an example of some of these things that can happen in this space in no time. Is, we have an internet phenomenon that's lasted 3 days, and this meme just popped up out of nowhere, and that's how people are choosing to communicate how they feel about a project. So I don't, it's kind of cool that we're seeing memes be used in such large levels, and also I think memes are a little bit underrated. I still think people don't really understand the full power that these things have. So I think they're going to continue to prove, just how powerful they are.
Well, they're simple, they're cheap, if not free. All it does is take some creative juices, and then the range on it could be ridiculous. I mean, you talk about things going viral. I mean, you can get 1 million people to view something real quick if it's the right thing. Circling back into the thread that we're going to release, maybe a half an hour from now, about, different terms and different aspects for educational purposes. And, one huge part of it is the security of things that are going on in the space, and using things like a hat and cold wallets and such. You want to touch base on any of the terms that you thought were important for people to know? It doesn't even need to be a slang term, just a general term in the NFT space that will just maybe help one or two of the listeners out there that might not know what it is.
Yeah, we will be dropping a wallet safety thread down the road a little bit, and I think that will help address what you just mentioned, Nova. I think in the crypto space and NFT space, I think knowing the difference between a hot and cold wallet is just about as imperative as they come. Unfortunately, there is some confusion. Some people maybe are a little technically intimidated by some of the hard wallets, but essentially, a hard wallet is not one that you're going to be connected to sites and minting from. That hard wallet should be holding your valuable NFTs. And we also would call that a cold wallet as well, like hardware wallet, cold wallet. And a hot wallet is one that you're linking to websites and trying to mint things from it and do all those fun things that you can do in NFTs. Just would not recommend keeping your assets that are valuable in a hot wallet, but at the end of the day, also, this is a little bit, hard to, come to the truth, but most wallets are compromised through human error. And, unfortunately, that's why it's so important. We have to get as educated as we can, because, you sign the wrong contract, or you connect to the wrong website, you click the wrong link, it's game over. So, just definitely hot and cold wallets, and we'll be helping you guys out with that for sure in the future, but definitely know the difference between those two.
And there again, we'll have all that for you in a threaded tweet coming out in a little bit right after this. But it's important to know those things. And even if you're not in the NFT space as far as having an NFT, you could still be a part of it. You could still be associated with it, with simple things of just getting that education, hopping into different Discords and seeing what's going on, learning about the terminology that's being used. So when it is time to maybe look towards an NFT project or creating something of yourself, you do have that baseline of knowledge, and you can come to your own conclusions of what you want to possibly look into creating moving forward, or, maybe a community that you want to invest your time in as well. There again, keep in mind anything that we're saying in this, none of this is ever financial advice. We're just trying to help guide all the aliens, apes, and zombies through this NFT space, because there's a lot of things out there. And if we can get some terminology down and people are using those terms consistently, then that just builds us that baseline of consistency. And then through that consistency, can create more people that can decide what they want to do with the time in the space. Speaking of time in this space, we got 1 or 2 minutes here, Alan, before we actually got to hop back on into some more meeting. Anything you want to bring into light here?
Yeah, just remember we're dropping that thread right after this with our lovely terms and language on there, and feel free to add your own. We're really trying to have an educational thread on our platform, and we're going to continue to be dropping those, and look for Vayner NFT in the future to be bringing you a lot of educational things. We're beyond happy to partner on board as many people and educate as many of you as we can. And thank you, Nova, for doing an amazing job hosting the spaces. You absolutely crushed it.
I don't much rather than hit play. You gave us the content this week, which is very important, is, you know, giving this threaded tweet that we're going to be giving to everyone for educational purposes, because that's what we're trying to do here, is educate everyone out there in the space. But I want to wish everyone a friendly Friday here on March 4th. Please, whatever you're doing this weekend, have fun with it. All right. I'm Crypto Nova. We're here with Ellen. I want to say what's up to Cool Blue, who's actually flying back from LA. She had an amazing event out there. She was at the billboards for female artists, and it was pretty cool to see some more friends, coworkers out and about in the NFT space. From myself, Crypto Nova, underneath that Vayner NFT, and Alan, thank you very much. Stay positive and love life. Peace. Credit warp sounds there with the music at the beginning of the end.
Thanks, Nova. That was fun.
You got
absolutely
it.
Crushed it.
Peace.